Good morning, cadets. Today, let us learn what happens to a rectangular loop carrying current placed in a strong magnetic field. You will come to know that when a rectangular loop carrying current is placed in a strong uniform magnetic field, it experiences a torque. What is the cause for this torque? We have learned in class 11th. The torque is due to the force which is leading to turning effect. The turning effect of force is called as torque. Now consider a rectangular loop ABCD. ABCD, a rectangular loop which is carrying current. You see, this is the battery connection with the help of split rings, and these are the graphite brushes. When the current passes through this, you see, ABCD is the rectangular current loop. Current flows from A to B, B to C, C to D and D to back, right? And N and S represent two strong pole pieces of a magnet which are providing a strong uniform magnetic field from N to S. So, the direction which is shown here from N to S is the direction of external magnetic field. So, remember, when a rectangular loop carrying current is placed in a strong magnetic field, then the loop experiences a torque. The cause for the torque is the forces. See here, the net force acting on this loop is going to be 0. Net force means total force. Then how is it causing the torque? Now for that, consider this rectangular loop being placed in such a manner that the plane of the rectangular loop is in the plane of magnetic field, is in the direction of magnetic field. The plane is like this, ABCD is like this. As a result, what happens? You will find the current arm AB, let it be of length B, small b, and the current arm BC, let it be of length A, means breadth of this loop is A and length is B. So that area of this loop, area of the rectangular loop is length into breadth, that is AB. When such a rectangular loop carrying current is placed in a strong magnetic field like this, then you see AB becomes a current wire placed in the magnetic field such that AB is perpendicular to magnetic field. Then naturally the current carrying wire placed in the magnetic field experiences a force. So this is what it is written here. Suppose a rectangular loop ABCD being placed in the plane of external magnetic field, then the force experienced by the current carrying arm AB is given by IB cross B, where I is the current flowing from A to B and B is the length of arm AB, and cross B is the magnetic field, external magnetic field. Then this can be written as IBB sin 90. Why it is 90? You can look at this. The angle between the magnetic field and the current is 90 degree. So, sin 90 becomes 1. So, the force is IBB. Then what is the direction of force? We make use of Fleming's left hand rule. Stretch your first 3 fingers mutually perpendicular to each other. Stretch your first 3 fingers of your left hand mutually perpendicular to each other such that the central finger to show the direction of current, forefinger to show the direction of field, and see the thumb is pointing inwards. The thumb points inwards means the force acting on the conductor is acting vertically inwards. So I have written IBB is the force acting vertically downwards, Lorentz force. So the force on this arm AB is acting vertically inwards, tending to take this arm downwards. At the same moment, look at this CD arm. In the CD arm, the current is vertically downwards. When the current is vertically downwards, you see the field is again in the same direction from north to south. Now, stretch your first 3 fingers to show the direction of current downwards, to show the magnetic field along the forefinger. The thumb shows the direction of force. The force is vertically outwards. Now it is the force vertically outwards. So AB is experiencing vertical inward force and CD is experiencing vertical outward force. That's what it is written. The force on the current arm CD F dash is equal to IBB, same thing, IB cross B, again the angle between the magnetic field and the current element is 90 degree, right? Magnetic field is 90 degree with the arm CD. Naturally, sin 90 becomes 1. You will get the same equation. IBB means magnitude of these forces. F on AB, F dash on CD, magnitude of these forces are equal. But you see, what is the direction of force? Here the direction of force is vertically outwards. So, it is vertically upwards. So, two equal and opposite forces acting at two different positions constitute a torque. So, they exert a torque on this rectangular loop. As a result, the rectangular loop starts rotating. But what happens to these arms BC and AD? You see, the arm BC and AD in this position of the loop, they do not experience any force. Reason? What is the reason? BC is in the same direction as that of the magnetic field B. So, angle between the current in BC and the magnetic field is 0. So, if you put this, use this equation, then it becomes IA cross B. IAB sin 0. Sin 0 becomes force acting on this arm BC is 0. In the same way, force acting on this arm DA is also 0, because the angle in this case is 180 degree. The magnetic field is from N to S, right? And the current is from D to A. The angle between the current and the magnetic field is 180 degree. As a result, the AD arm doesn't experience any force. So, in this case, in this position, BC arm and AD arm do not experience any force. Only two forces are acting here on arm AB, which is trying to push it downwards, and the force on CD trying to push it outwards. As a result, you see, two equal and opposite forces acting at two different positions exert a torque. Now we can calculate the value of torque. The value of torque can be calculated as magnitude of either of the forces, either F dash magnitude or F magnitude. Magnitude is same, IBB, where small b is the length of this arm, IBB, into the perpendicular distance. The perpendicular distance is nothing but A itself. The perpendicular distance between the two forces is A itself. So, two anti-parallel forces, two forces acting in equal and opposite direction of same magnitude at different positions constitute a torque. So, torque can be calculated now. Now, you can see torque experienced by the rectangular loop. So, when you look at side view, you will be able to see, or top view of the rectangular loop, you will be seeing the arm AB, arm CD, that is upper arm, which is of length A, right. So, if you consider the length of this arm as A, so look at this, one force on CD is acting vertically upwards, another force on AB is acting vertically inwards. So, F and F dash are of same magnitude. Now, torque is equal to perpendicular distance between the two forces multiplied by the magnitude of force. This is how we define torque. A into F. Perpendicular distance between two forces is A, and magnitude of either of these forces is, take it as F, and it is IBB. So, A into IBB, this gives you what is known as the torque. Torque is equal to IAB into B, where AB is the area of the loop, I capital A into capital B. This gives us torque experienced by a rectangular loop having single turn. If the same rectangular loop is having n number of turns, then the current is repeating n times. Therefore, the torque becomes n times IAB. The torque becomes n times the torque experienced by single loop. Therefore, total torque now becomes NIAB. Now, the torque experienced by this loop tends to turn this rectangular loop, in this case anti-clockwise direction. In this case, in the anti-clockwise direction, right? If you reverse the direction of current, then that loop will be rotating in the clockwise direction. So, totally what we learn from this discussion is that when a rectangular loop carrying current, steady current, is placed in a magnetic field, it experiences a torque, and the tendency of the torque is to turn the coil, is to turn the loop, right? So, this becomes the principle of moving coil galvanometer and also the principle of motor. So, we use Fleming's left hand rule to identify the direction of force, right? So, this is the case, very simple case, when the rectangular loop is in the plane of magnetic field. If the rectangular loop is not in the plane of magnetic field, if it is making certain angle theta, then the same thing can be derived. Instead of IAB, we are writing it as IA cross B, where IA becomes the current into area vector of the rectangular loop and B is the magnetic field. How is this? Then the same thing can be written as IAB sin theta. Now, we are going to prove that how torque experienced by a rectangular loop placed in a magnetic field at any angle theta with the magnetic field experiences torque equal to IAB sin theta. Let us see it. Yes, now let us see what happens when the plane of the loop is making certain angle theta with the magnetic field. So, the magnetic field is from north to south, as I have shown here. This shows the direction of B vector, that is magnetic field vector. And the same thing is shown like this when you are seeing from the top. So, this is the top view. So, this is the representing the plane of the rectangular loop carrying current placed with certain angle theta with the magnetic field. And actually we take the angle theta with respect to the normal drawn to the plane. The normal which is drawn to the plane represents the area vector of the plane. You see, for example, suppose this is the rectangular plane. This is the rectangular plane. The perpendicular drawn to this, the perpendicular which is drawn to this gives you normal, right? When you turn this plane, you see the normal also turns by the same angle. When you turn this plane by 90 degree, the normal also turns by 90 degree. When you turn this plane by 180 degree, the normal also turns by 180 degree. When the plane is turned by 360 degree, the normal also turns by 360 degree. The normal, outward normal drawn to the plane, the outward normal drawn to the plane gives you direction of area vector, and magnitude of plane, rectangular plane is given by breadth into length or length into breadth. Length into breadth, that gives you area magnitude. Area vector is the outward normal that is drawn. So, here it is like this. This is outward normal here, and here it is the outward normal. For this thin plane, this is the outward normal. So, these are giving you the direction of the normal drawn to the area. The normal drawn to the area gives you direction of area vector. So, this is what we take it as area vector of the plane, and the area vector of the plane is making certain angle theta with the magnetic field. Now, you see the force that is acting on this. Here it is acting vertically downward force like this. This is the force which we have taken it as F, and here it is acting vertical upward force. You see, here it is acting vertical downward force, here it is acting vertical upward force. So, these two equal and opposite forces, anti-parallel forces acting at two different points constitute a couple, exert a torque. So, this is the force acting here, the same amount of force, I am showing it as F dash. So, extend this is the extended force, and this is the perpendicular distance between the two forces. So, perpendicular distance between the two forces, and this is your point C and this is point B, and you can take this point as some other point, let us say O, right. Now, we can calculate what is the torque. So two equal and opposite forces at two different points on the arm. This is the arm representing AB and this is the C representing the arm CD. So they constitute couple or torque. So torque due to couple I will write now. Torque tau is equal to the perpendicular distance. The perpendicular distance here is BO. OB into magnitude of the force. Either you take F or you take F dash. Magnitude of these forces is same. Now we know what is the value of force. Already we have calculated. It is IBB, where B is the length and BC is the breadth. Right? This is B, small b, and this is small a. So IBB, we got it already. So force is IBB. Now we will calculate what is OB. To calculate the perpendicular distance separating these two forces, one force is upward, another force is downward, which is tending to rotate this plane like this, right? And the plane is making certain angle theta with the magnetic field. I told you plane making angle with the theta is same as the normal drawn to the plane making certain angle theta with the magnetic field. The normal drawn to the plane represents the area vector. That is what I have shown it as area vector, A vector, right? Right. Now, if this is the angle theta, you can very easily prove that this is equal to same angle theta, because if it is 90 degree here, right? So this angle plus interior angle becomes 90 degree, and this angle plus this angle is also becoming 90 degree, because the sum of the three angles is equal to 180 degree. Okay. So angle theta plus this interior angle is 90 degree, because this is the normal drawn to this plane. So, and this 90 minus theta plus theta is also equal to 90 degree, because in this right angle triangle you see this is normal, that is this is 90 degree. So this should be 90 minus theta. So if it is 90 minus theta, if it is theta, then we can prove that this angle and this angle are equal. So we have proved that if this is angle theta, then this is also equal to angle theta. So from this we can find out what is BO. Consider the right angle triangle BOC. From right triangle BOC, you see this is right angle triangle. So sine theta, what is sine theta from this? Sine theta is equal to OB, that is opposite side, divided by the hypotenuse is BC. What is the value of BC here? BC is A, therefore it becomes OB divided by A. Therefore OB is equal to A sin theta. OB is equal to A sin theta. So I can very easily substitute here the value of OB. Therefore torque tau is equal to OB A sin theta into the value of force IBB. Value of force is IBB. Now clubbing together we get the torque. Therefore torque experienced by the rectangular loop placed at any angle theta with the magnetic field is given by torque tau equal to I AB sin theta into B, where AB again gives you area of the rectangular loop. Therefore I can write torque tau is equal to IA into B. Let me take this B as a magnetic field into sin theta. Thus now I can write the torque in its vector form, because torque is a vector. Torque tau is equal to IA cross B vector, IA cross B vector, so that if you expand this it becomes IAB sin theta. When theta is 90 degree, look at this, when theta is 90 degree means what? This entire plane will be like this. Plane will be in the direction of magnetic field, and you see the area vector. The area vector will be normal drawn to the area. The normal drawn to the area will be making 90 degree with the magnetic field. When theta is 90 degree, sin 90 becomes 1, at that moment the torque becomes maximum, which we have already derived earlier, when the plane of the area is in the direction of magnetic field, so that the normal drawn to the area is perpendicular to the magnetic field. When the normal drawn to the area is perpendicular to the magnetic field, sin 90 becomes 1, the torque experience will be maximum, right? That's how torque tau equal to IAB sin theta. But when the area, see here, if the area is perpendicular to the magnetic field, in that case what happens? If this is the area perpendicular to the magnetic field, then the normal drawn to the area, that is perpendicular to the, see here, this is the normal drawn to the area. The normal drawn to the area, you can see this is the normal drawn to the area. The normal drawn to the area is in the same direction as that of magnetic field. So the angle between area vector and magnetic field vector becomes 0. So when the plane of the loop is perpendicular to the magnetic field, then area vector is in the same direction as that of the magnetic field. The angle between area vector and the magnetic field vector becomes 0. Torque will be 0. The torque becomes 0. Therefore, when the plane of the loop, when the current loop starts rotating due to the torque will be varying between angle 0 to 90 degree, between angle 0 to 90 degree, 90 to 180, 180 to 270, 270 to 360. So torque will be varying from 0 to maximum, maximum to 0. That's how the variation is given by torque tau equal to IAB sin theta, and the direction is given by n cap, and the direction of this torque is, you see, along the axis. If this is the axis, then the direction of the torque is given by this way. So this is how the plane rotates. The arm AB will be pulled down and CD will be pushed up, and it continues to rotate, and if it is maintained with the steady current I with the same value of magnetic field, then it will start rotating with some angular velocity omega, constant angular velocity omega. This is how we study the torque. If it is consisting of n number of turns, then torque for n number of turns becomes NIA cross B, NIA cross B, right? So torque will be increasing. More the number of turns, more is the torque. Larger the strength of the current, higher is the torque. More the area of the loop, more is the torque. Higher the strength of the magnetic field, more is the torque. And again this torque depends on angle of orientation theta. So NIA B sin theta, right? This is how we speak about the torque. Now one more interesting thing to be noted here is, it depends only on the area, whether the loop is rectangular in shape or triangular in shape or circular in shape. It doesn't speak, it depends only on the area, isn't it? So the torque depends on the area. So we have studied here for rectangular loop, same thing is applicable even for circular loop, square loop or any other shape, right? It depends only on the area of that loop. Okay. So this is how we study the torque experienced by a current loop placed in a magnetic field with certain angle theta. So this becomes the principle of the motor. In motor, what do we study? A current carrying loop placed in a strong magnetic field experiences a torque. That torque leads to a rotating effect, turning effect of the coil, and the coil keeps on rotating, and that coil is connected to the blades of the fan with the help of shaft, and that's how we get the breeze. So that is the principle of motor, and same is the principle of moving coil galvanometer. Next we are going to learn the moving coil galvanometer. The principle of moving coil galvanometer is a rectangular current carrying loop. A rectangular current carrying loop placed in the magnetic field experiences a torque, and the amount of rotation, the angle through which the plane rotates, the angle through which the rectangular loop rotates depends on the strength of the current. That becomes the principle of moving coil galvanometer. You know, galvanometer is a current detecting device. This is what we are going to learn in the next video. So before that, we will solve some more problems and we will go ahead with the next, that is moving coil galvanometer. Okay, please go through this. If you have any doubts, please ask me in the WhatsApp group. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.